Hello everyone, welcome to Jackie Does Stuff. I'm Jackie and I do stuff. And today I'm going to try, for the first time for me, to make garlic powder. So here we have a basket of garlic that I harvested from my garden. This is the first time that I have grown garlic, and I'm super excited because I love garlic. I think I have it every single day. This is a mix of different styles. I got it from Keen Garlic. Not paid, again, just wanted to share credit where credit is due. And then I have a small bowl and a larger bowl. I have a cutting board in front of me and a small paring knife. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these cloves and I'm going to completely undress it, pretty much. I'm going to take all the all the wrappings off, and I'm going to take each clove out, and I'm going to try to do that without like squishing it, crushing it, or chopping it in any way, because that whenever you injure, I guess, so whenever you do something to the clove, then it gives up some of its smell and its flavor, and I want to keep as much of that as possible. I think that's how I think I'm going to do this. Like I said, this is my first time doing it, so I actually don't know if this is going to be the best way of doing it, but experience is the best teacher, isn't it? So I still don't have a setup. Otherwise, I would kind of like set the camera up and you could watch me, unshell everything. But that's just not it's gonna have to not be the case today. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all the wrappings in this bowl and then all the finished cloves in this one. And then once this bowl is like untenably full, that's when I will stop and go to the next step. And I will see you on the other side. Okay, so it is a couple of hours later because my cat, Merlin, keeps making me go outside. So I have to keep stopping in the process and taking him outside or he's going to keep whining. But I have finally got the garlic cloves all undressed. So here they are. There they are. Oh, aren't they so great? They smell fantastic too. So what I'm going to do now, the window's open and everything and the air conditioner's on, so I hope that's not making a ton of noise. But yeah, this is a dehydrator basket, and I'm just putting this piece of paper towel over it because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the paper towel. I'm going to just put this down on there really quick. Basically, I'm just going to take each clove individually and I'm going to kind of like slice it into thin slices, and then I'm going to put them down on the paper towel because when I put it in the dehydrator, it's obviously going to dehydrate, and then when it does, it's going to shrink. So I'm worried that the slices are going to fall through the basket. I'm not totally sure how to handle that, so I chose the paper towel because that should let some airflow happen. My other option, I guess, was like parchment paper, but that's not going to let air pass through. So I'm going to try this and I'm going to see how that works. So basically I'm just going to, normally I would hold this, but I'm holding the camera. So I'm just going to slide. Oh, no, I guess I have to. Okay, hang on. Let me see what I can do. Okay, yeah, I definitely can't do that one-handed. I really need to get like a camera holder or something. That would definitely make this all easier. That's part of the reason why I wanted to do live streaming instead, is so that I could kind of like park it somewhere and I could just work like in front of the camera. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm gonna have to figure out. So yeah, I'm gonna slice each of these. I'm gonna slice them into thin slices. I'm gonna put them on top of the paper towel, and then once I'm done with that, I'll pop it in the dehydrator. So I will just go ahead and get that done, and then I will catch you on the other side. Okay, it has been about 12 hours. It's been overnight since I put the garlic in. So let's take a look in the dehumidifier. The dehydrator. So this is just my regular toaster oven. It has a dehydration setting, so that's what I use it for. It's got like half an hour left in the cycle. It's been 12 hours. So we're gonna pull it out. I can already see that it's not done. Like, you can see that it's still wet. And when you're dehydrating stuff, you do want it to be like 100% dry. You want there to be no water at all. So I'm just giving it a little toss around so that I can expose more of the surface area. You can see it's like sticking to things, but you can also hear it kind of like crisp. So it's dry. I mean, some of it's dry. It's just not as dry as I'd like it to be. I want it to be bone dry. Usually when you're dehydrating something, you want to be able to pick it up and like snap it in your fingers. And the reason for that is because water is life. So if there is water, there will be life, and you don't want that because that's how you get mold and bacteria and whatnot. So you want it to be 100% dry. Yeah, this is another reason I put the paper towel down, is because if I tried to toss this around with the pieces being so small, they would just fall right through. All right, so I'm gonna just put that back in there, and then I'm gonna stop that, and I'm gonna just start it again. Start another 12-hour cycle. Right? Start. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so I'm not actually gonna let it go the full 12 hours, I don't think. I'm gonna just let it go. I'm gonna keep checking it and checking it and checking it, and once it's dry, I will take it out and move on to the next step. See you then. Hello again. Okay, so here I am in my kitchen. I've taken the garlic out of the dehydrator, and I got most of it into this jar right here. It's actually a lot more than I was expecting. This is great. I'm really pleased with this. So it's still in sliver form, and honestly, it's not even 100% dry, but because of because of how much I was doing, some of it's going to be a little bit gummy. So that's why I'm just going ahead and moving on to the next step, because I'm hoping, hoping that it will dry out even further the more that I process it. So I've filled up that whole jar, but as you can see, there's also like a ton more of these slivers. And yeah, as you can see, the paper towel was not a good idea. I'll have to keep that in mind for next time and just use the parchment paper. I was hoping that maybe that would help with some of the airflow, but it just stuck right to all the garlic. Yeah, so some of this is still stuck on there. But yeah, so as you can see, this jar, I can't really fit that much more in there. So, having all of that, garlic over there and all of this in here, I thought that maybe I might take some of this and go ahead and turn it into powder and then store it in another jar. And then that way I could have, two different products. So I can have proper garlic powder, and then here can maybe be some more like slivered garlic, like garlic bits, and then that way we can use it two different ways in the future. Like I said, I want to dry it out a little bit more, so what I've done is this fun little trick that I learned somewhere where I save these desiccant packets that you sometimes get when you buy stuff, and I put it in this little jar right here. So I every time I get a desiccant packet, if I can remember, I just go ahead and stuff it in this jar. And when you're dehydrating herbs and spices, or if you just have something that you're worried about getting moist and causing it to go off or whatever, you can take the desiccant packet and you can do what I've done here and just like tape it to the lid of the jar. I've also taped it to the lid of this one over here. Yeah. And it won't like dehydrate it. So if you put the whole, garlic in there fresh, the desiccant packet wouldn't, dehydrate the garlic. But if you've already dehydrated it and you're worried about some moisture making it go off, the desiccant packet is for that. I really don't get the opportunity to use this very much, so I'm kind of excited about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of just eyeballing this. I have here a coffee grinder, or we use it as a spice grinder, so it smells like very strongly of cumin right now. I tried my best to kind of clean it and wipe it all out, but I guess there's going to be a little bit of cumin in this here garlic powder. I'm just going to have to live with that. That and the paper pieces that got stuck to some of the garlic. But you know what? I'm not selling it. It's just for me. I can live with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to take some of these, slivered garlic pieces, and take a look. Yeah. So it looks kind of like dried banana bits a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, this is very fun. I like this so far. But yeah, I'm just kind of put some in here, and I'm not going to overload it because this, the blade is not really meant to, it's not like a blender. It's a spice grinder. So you want to have kind of a minimal amount and it will grind it up. So then I'm going to take this, and you kind of like pulse it using this button right there. Have I plugged this in? Yes, I did. And then once I kind of process it a little bit and it gets, nice and powdery, then I am going to take this funnel and I'm going to put it, down. I'm going to put it in the jar, and then I'm going to just rest the strainer on top of it. Is this necessary? I guess not, but it will be nice to have a more, consistent powder texture that will help with using the powder in the future. That way we'll kind of know what we're getting. So I'm gonna grind it into a powder, pour it through the sieve, and any like big pieces that get stuck in here, it'll just go right back in here with the next handful. So let's see if I can't do this one-handed a little bit. Ooh. Yeah, and I think that the pulsing is necessary because, as you could hear, like the sound difference of just pulsating it versus like holding it. The way that the shape of the blade is not really conducive to necessarily holding it down like a blender. Oh, look at that! Oh, it's so powdery. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and just pour that in here. And yeah, oh, there's a little bit more stuck there. But yeah, since we're gonna do this in kind of batches anyways, it's okay if stuff gets stuck in there. Okay, and now we're going to just go ahead and sift that through. And yeah, there's tons of like bigger pieces, but the finer pieces will just go right on through into the jar. Yeah, so I'm gonna just carry this on until I'm happy with it. I think probably what I'll do is I'll go ahead and use like half of it, so that way I can have a comparable amount of the slivered garlic and the powdered garlic. And it, depending on how, I guess, mindfully I want to do this, it could take a few minutes. It could take, I don't know, could take up to an hour or something. I don't know. I will touch base again when I am done, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, catch you on the flip side. Okay, so this is actually the next day, but I did finish making the stuff yesterday, so here it is. It's actually like a ton, right? So this is way more garlic powder than I was expecting to come out of that, because you know how it is when you powder something, it like really condenses pretty far down. And we still have like a ton of slivered garlic here. And I guess I did it so that they'd be about equal, but of course that means that this is like way more than that. But still, I mean, that's like a ton. This might be actually more garlic than I can even use in... Well, my goal is to, put stuff away like for the year, but I'm not there yet. That's not something that I can do. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's just from drying it, and you don't even need to use a dehydrator. You can just use you could just leave it out to evaporate. And then I used a spice grinder, but you don't even need to use that. You could just use a mortar and pestle, which we have a couple of here. But it was way faster to do that. But yeah, it doesn't even need to be very high tech, but like, look what we have. We have 2 different products from the garlic. We have, so much more garlic than we could even use, to be honest. I mean, I love that. Now, normally at this stage, like I do this all the time, but normally at this stage, I would label the jars. I would put like a piece of masking tape on there, and then I would just write, what it is: garlic powder, slivered garlic, and then I would write about when we did it. So instead of like, July the whatever 2025, I would just say July 2025. And then that way, when we put it in storage, when we put it down in the basement or whatever, then we'll at least know when abouts it was made, so that we can keep an eye on like if it should start to go rancid, or however fast we use it up or whatever. We can keep an eye on that, and then we can plan that for next year. So if, for example, we don't use this whole thing, then we can say, this is this is plenty, however much this is plenty for 1 year. Or if we use this all up in 6 months, then we'll say, okay, next year we're going to have to do twice as much as this in order to keep it for a year. It's all, everything is data. It's all data. Yeah, I can't seem to find any masking tape, so I guess that we will get around to that later. But thank you so much for watching and joining me on my very first garlic powder foray. I hope to be doing it so much in the future. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!